friends, today is Sunday, July 10th, 2022, and in today's video, I'd like to discuss with you liberal democracies and how this set of political and economic systems of organizing a society is currently failing us in every aspect of our, that is, mine and yours, everyday life. I will define what liberal democracy is and then use examples from news and other sources to support my outrageous thesis. But before I launch into the discussion, I ask you to hit a like button and subscribe to my channel. I try to make regular content which strives to challenge a mainstream narrative in order to shape a debate about the future of our human race. Thanks. And now with the video. I'm going to use this particular definition of liberal democracy from a Wikipedia article, which seems to me to approximate the kind of political and economic systems existing in the West. Liberal democracy is the combination of a liberal political ideology that operates under indirect democratic form of government. It is characterized by elections between multiple distinct political parties, a separation of power into different branches of government, the rule of law in everyday life as part of an open society, a market economy with private property, and the equal protection of human rights, civil liberties, and political freedoms for all people. It sounds nice, doesn't it? I read this definition, and I imagined a place where such political and economic policies and laws lead to prosperity, equality, and justice. I imagine working and earning an income, being able to spend a part of this income to buy good quality food and things that make my life easier or that entertain me. I imagine buying nice clothes and sturdy shoes. I imagine being able to go see a doctor when I get the sniffles, or when I get an aching tooth from eating illiberal amounts of sweets. I imagine being able to go see a dentist. When I think of this definition of liberal democracies, I imagine being able to vote in local and national elections for candidates who do not just say things that sound pleasant to me as their constituent, but actually enact policies that I and my neighbors wish them to enact. I imagine being able to walk home at night from a bar without fear of being assaulted or mugged or raped. In a liberal democracy such as the one defined in this Wikipedia quote, I am free to express my personal and political beliefs without fear of being rounded up by some secret police and thrown in a dark cell. Living in such a time and place, I could probably make a video about something that worries me, like health risks posed by some medication or a disturbing trend in childhood education, and be certain that my message will not be artificially suppressed by an algorithm or deliberately silenced by a cancellation of my channel. I can go on and on fantasizing about what it would be like to live inside this idealized social and economic paradise. But the truth is that the ideal described by the Wikipedia quote doesn't exist in the time and place where I live. America is the place and July 2022 is the time. And for some inexplicable reason, I sit here in front of the camera telling you that this ideal of liberal democracy that's being actively propagated throughout the world by non-governmental organizations and politicians, and hell, even funded by the American government. For example, National Endowment for Democracy is one such organization, isn't working for me and hundreds of thousands of Americans. The claim is outrageous, and here's my evidence. Look at the news. We're suffering an opioid epidemic. That is, men and women's lives are ruined by drug addictions in the tens of thousands. Those who aren't self-medicated are often medicated by prescriptions, amphetamines, antidepressants. Thousands and thousands of people die to violence. And I don't mean the mass shootings that make the headlines. I mean shootings in Chicago and Philadelphia and here in Portland, Oregon. The streets aren't safe. And when I think about the fact that America, having only 5% of the world's population, suffered 20% of the world's total COVID-related deaths, I'm forced to admit that there's something really wrong with our healthcare system. When I see intellectuals and journalists and medical doctors get deplatformed, their voices silenced, their videos removed, their appearances unwelcome on mainstream media channels, only because their opinion differs from a preferred narrative, I doubt in the freedom of expression. Sure, a state senator can twerk in a TikTok video and debase herself to demonstrate how cool and unconventional she might be in order to attract votes. This is a certain kind of freedom of expression. But this freedom doesn't make up for what we have lost when voices of dissent are silenced as a matter of corporate and public policy. My teeth, damaged by the illiberal consumption of chocolate, plentifully available for low price because of exploitative economic practices of transnational corporations, remain ill because I cannot afford a trip to a dentist. I have no health insurance, along with millions of others, and millions more have benefits which can be classified as catastrophic coverage, useless in terms of preventative care, able to slightly soften a blow of bad luck should it strike. Racism persists. Just look at the attacks on Americans who are of Asian descent. Look at Russophobia and fear-mongering of Russians in movies and news shows. And in our local and national politics, no one in their sane mind will agree with a statement that the people of America can exercise their democratic will in most cases. Our politics are bribery made into law. What matters are not ideas and policies, but money and power. I paint a gloomy picture, I know. I'm sorry. I want America to do better for me and for all of us, and I think it can. But the system, as it is, will not. It has to change. I'm not a political scientist or a philosopher, not an economist, not a professor or an intellectual. I don't have an alternative version to offer to the reality surrounding us. But there are people who do have it, who have ideas on how to shape our American future in a way that would embrace freedom, democracy, and well-being for all of us. I hope to maybe do some videos on some of these people and their ideas in the near future. The time is ripe for change. An economic collapse is coming, along with a radical change of a geopolitical world order. It's irreversible. And the catastrophe, however terrible, will present us with an opportunity to create something new. This is why I'm making this video, to get this message out. We must create something radically different, not some improved version of what we already have. Perhaps it will mean giving up something, like imperialism, shutting down military installations around the world, scaling down the amount we spend on the military and our national security agencies, investing in nuclear energy and safe storage of spent nuclear fuel, stopping the predatory capitalism which feeds on domestic and foreign markets alike. There is a lot of work to be done once the system crashes and the people find the energy and will to fight for their lives. That's all I have for today's video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.